Samuel Insull electrified America, built an empire bigger than Rockefeller's, and gave the middle class modern life, then lost it all in a storm of debt, scandal, and betrayal. This is the shocking rise and fall of the forgotten titan of electricity. It was the dawn of the 20th century, an era buzzing with innovation and boundless ambition. Cities across America were rapidly changing, illuminated by the magical, transformative power of electricity. At the very heart of this new age stood Samuel Insull, a towering figure whose vision and drive reshaped not only the urban landscape but also the very foundations of modern utilities. Born in London on November 11, 1859, Samuel Insull grew up in modest circumstances but possessed a keen intellect and remarkable ambition. At the age of 22, Insull emigrated to America in 1881, attracted by the promise of opportunity and innovation sweeping the nation. His early years in the United States were profoundly influential, as he became the personal secretary of the legendary inventor Thomas Edison. Under Edison's mentorship, Insull quickly grasped the revolutionary potential of electricity and understood the vast business opportunities it presented. Insull was not content merely working in Edison's shadow. By 1892, feeling ready to forge his own legacy, he moved to Chicago, a city booming with industrial growth and brimming with potential. Chicago, with its bustling streets, factories, and rapidly growing population, provided the perfect environment for Insull to realize his dreams. Recognizing the inefficiency and disorganization of the city's fragmented utility providers, Insull swiftly took action, acquiring and consolidating small independent power companies into a coherent and efficient network. By centralizing operations and aggressively expanding infrastructure, Insull soon dominated the regional utilities market. By the early 1920s, Insull had successfully built what became known as the Insull Utilities Empire, one of the largest and most influential corporate conglomerates in American history. His network of power companies spanned numerous states, lighting millions of homes, factories, and businesses across the Midwest. Insull was praised as a genius, hailed as the architect behind the electrification of America. His ambitious projects brought affordable electricity to ordinary citizens, dramatically improving daily life and fueling unprecedented economic growth. In the years leading up to his downfall, Insull was more than just a businessman. He was a symbol of American progress. His face regularly appeared on magazine covers, and he was frequently invited to speak at prestigious events across the nation. He championed the idea that large-scale monopolies could serve the public good if properly regulated, a radical departure from the traditional skepticism surrounding corporate concentration. In fact, Insull pioneered the concept of natural monopolies in the utility sector, arguing that competition in electricity was not only inefficient but dangerous. His logic was compelling. Duplicating power lines and infrastructure wasted resources, whereas a single coordinated provider could offer lower rates and better service. This theory influenced not only state utility commissions but also laid the groundwork for public acceptance of regulated monopolies in critical industries. His empire also helped fuel the rise of the American middle class. With more affordable electricity came new conveniences: refrigerators, washing machines, electric lighting, all of which transformed domestic life and spurred an explosion in consumer demand. Cities became safer, factories more productive, and homes more comfortable. In Chicago, streetcars ran on electricity supplied by Insull's companies, and theaters, department stores, and even hospitals owed much of their operation to his grid. It's no exaggeration to say that Insull helped usher in the modern urban age. However, beneath the praise, some contemporaries had begun to express quiet concern. A few financial journalists and lawmakers warned of the opaque structure of his holdings and the risks of over-leveraged expansion. But Insull, known for his charm and authoritative presence, often silenced critics by pointing to falling rates and growing public access to power. Regulators were hesitant to challenge a man whose success seemed so tightly woven into America's prosperity. Yet behind this impressive facade lay a dangerously complex financial structure that few understood fully. Insull's empire was not merely a collection of operational utility companies. Rather, it was a precariously balanced pyramid of hundreds of holding companies. These holding companies were ingeniously crafted to conceal massive amounts of debt, creating a misleading appearance of profitability and financial strength. Many small investors, convinced by Insull's glowing public reputation and persuasive rhetoric, enthusiastically invested their savings into these seemingly stable and secure ventures. Everything changed dramatically in October 1929. With the infamous stock market crash, Insull's meticulously constructed financial empire began to unravel. The economic calamity exposed the hidden fragility of his holding companies, causing a rapid and catastrophic collapse. Investors, especially ordinary citizens who had trusted Insull with their hard-earned savings, were left devastated. Among these thousands of affected investors was Helen Avery, a widow from Chicago whose tragic story personified the human cost of Insull's collapse. Helen, like many ordinary people, had invested her entire life savings into Insull's securities, firmly believing in the integrity and promise of his companies. When the devastating news of the collapse reached her, Helen was utterly heartbroken and financially ruined. Her dreams of a secure retirement shattered overnight. Helen Avery's story was just one of countless similar tragedies, but her personal devastation became symbolic of the broader public outrage and betrayal felt nationwide. The reaction against Samuel Insull was swift and harsh. Insull quickly became synonymous with corporate greed and deception in the public eye. In 1932, facing fraud indictments, Insull fled to Europe, seeking refuge from the mounting anger in America. However, justice pursued him relentlessly. He was eventually apprehended in Greece and extradited back to the United States, where he faced a sensational and highly publicized trial in Chicago in 1934. Although Insull was ultimately acquitted, the trial irreparably damaged his reputation. He spent the remainder of his life in relative obscurity, dying in poverty in 1938 in Paris. His once illustrious name was forever tarnished, becoming a cautionary tale and a symbol of unchecked corporate ambition. Ironically, even after his downfall, some defended Insull's intent. They argued he had not set out to deceive, but had simply become a victim of his own ambition and the era's unchecked faith in growth and consolidation. For all his flaws, Samuel Insull remained, until the very end, a man who believed in progress, even if his methods ultimately helped bring about its darkest lesson. The fallout from Insull's collapse resonated far beyond his personal disgrace. The public outcry and demands for justice following his downfall led directly to major legislative reforms. The most significant was the Public Utility Holding Company Act of 1935, enacted by the United States government to ensure that such catastrophic financial manipulations could never again occur. This legislation imposed strict federal regulations on utility holding companies, dramatically reshaping the landscape of American corporate finance. Today, Samuel Insull's legacy remains complex and nuanced. On one hand, he undeniably played a pivotal role in modernizing American cities and making electricity accessible to the masses. His innovative approach to utilities created lasting advancements and improved countless lives. On the other hand, his story serves as a warning about the perils of financial manipulation, excessive greed, and irresponsible ambition. The heartbreaking losses suffered by people like Helen Avery continue to remind us that behind every great corporate scandal are real lives and devastation. Samuel Insull's story endures as both a testament to human innovation and a powerful cautionary tale about accountability, ethics, and the true costs of economic progress. We are a growing channel and appreciate your support. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video so we can keep making more content and continue to improve our quality. We at the Capital Curiosity team thank you for your support and can't wait to bring you even better content in the future.